Hey guys, welcome back to Next Level You podcast. Today I have Brooke MacTaggart with me, and full transparency, Brooke and I are good friends. So the reason I'm bringing Brooke on today is because she is now a functional pediatrician in our area. And as if you're a longtime listener, you know I'm from Eastern Iowa. So she's in the community with me. And initially, I met Brooke when we were both actually at the same wellness facility together. And then we both broke out on our own and started our own LLCs. And we've kind of become biz besties through this whole journey of like starting a business, balancing our health with running a business, balancing motherhood with running a business. Like, Brooke is just one of those girls that I can be completely myself around, like the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. And she does the same for me. And so I wanted to bring her on for a couple of reasons. One, I just think it's great to have other entrepreneurs on here who are kind of like going through the muck and in that like difficult season of balancing everything and are still building their business to where they want it to be. Maybe they're not yet up to that six-figure level, but that's their goal to get there. And I want people to talk about like those difficult seasons too, because it's not always sunshine and rainbows like it's portrayed online. But I also wanted to bring her on because in the beginning, when I launched my coaching program, Brooke was one of my pro bono clients, and she did like a shorter version of the up level method. We worked together for 4 weeks and I just coached her on mindset, like money mindset, and just all things like confidence, imposter syndrome, all the stuff. We kind of touched on a little bit of everything. And I would say after that, she just kind of like, and Brooke, I'll let you talk about this, but she just kind of like ran with her personal development after that. Like, she invested in a coach. She just like really dove in headfirst, and I could see a transformation from the outside looking in. And I just thought this would be the perfect opportunity for her to talk about that. And I also just think I'm huge on promoting other female entrepreneurs, whether you're in this area of Eastern Iowa or not. I think we all need to be building each other up. And with her business still being fairly new, I thought, let's get the word out there even more. Her caseload has been significantly growing, but I'm hoping after this, it's just going to like catapult even more. So, Brooke, why don't you talk about your business, what it's called, your whole idea behind your business, whatever you want to share?
Yeah, so I opened Rooted in June of 20, what year are we in? 25. So June of 24. And so just celebrated my first birthday with Rooted, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah, 1 year.
Yeah. And so Rooted is a pediatric health clinic. I integrate Western medicine with also your functional side of things too, looking at the whole person, doing comprehensive visits, and just making sure that families are really heard, whether that's the parent, the child, really anybody.
Yeah, and prior to Brooke starting Rooted, there's really like we're in rural Eastern Iowa, so there's no like pediatricians in our area. There's like family providers, but we would have to drive an hour to get to like an actual pediatrician, right?
Yes, that
So
is correct.
starting Rooted like really filled a huge gap in our rural area.
Yeah, so that was another big goal of mine because I knew if I wanted to work somewhere that was just ped specific, because that's what I have my degree in, I would have to travel an hour one way just to go to work. And the hours would be what, 8 to 5. So I'm having to leave at least by 7, not getting home until 6. I have two littles, and they are 3 and 1.5. And I just knew that that was not the life I wanted to live. So that was a big push for me to start Rooted as well, because mom is my number one job. And so I want to be present with them for everything that they do, whether that's like a school event or swim lessons, or they need mom home because they're sick. Like, I can really adjust my schedule to what they need.
Yeah. Yeah, that's huge. And you hear that with so many entrepreneurs, like the theme of like freedom. I needed time freedom, money freedom, wanting control over your schedule, whatever it may be. Like, that is just a continuous theme. And why don't you talk about what were some of those challenges in the beginning with starting this practice?
Yeah. The biggest challenge was, what am I doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I remember just being on maternity leave with my youngest, and I just knew that something needed to change with where I was at before. And there was a lot of tears. And I can remember just telling my husband, like, I I just need to know what I'm doing. Like, but I also felt like I needed somebody else to tell me, like, you need to go out on your own. You need to start your own business. But everybody that I'm around, other than you,
Mhm.
don't own their own business. I guess my brother does too. But my brother was awesome. He encouraged me. He's like, you should do it. He's like, it's the best decision he's ever made. But I mean, everybody else that's around me, they're like, I don't know the first thing about running a business. I
Right.
what that looks like. And then you have all the what ifs in the background, like, what if I fail? What if this isn't the right decision? What if I can't help support my family? What if, there's all those negative thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, there was the biggest
So
thing
much
was,
of that.
what if I fail?
Right.
Like I said, because my kids are everything to me. So they were who, and I mean, my whole family, they were who I was thinking about the most. Like, what is going to benefit everybody and have everybody's best interest out.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up because I haven't really ever talked about this on the podcast, but like living in this rural area, I don't feel like there's a lot of us that have these like big dreams. Like I feel like you get on Instagram and a lot of the influencers are from like the city or the coast and they have all these like big dreams and they're making these things happen. But around here in Eastern Iowa, like nobody really talks about that or talks like that.
Yeah.
So to bring up this idea of like, I want to start a pediatrician clinic and I want to bring an OT in and all these things and it's going to be huge. And people look at you like,
Yeah.
okay, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's weird. You feel like an outlier.
You really do. Like,
Yeah.
I remember being asked a few years ago when I was starting my NP journey going through school. I remember somebody asking me if I was ever going to open my own clinic, and I laughed in their face. I was like, no, never in a million years would I do that. And look where we are.
That's so crazy how fast things change. Yeah. And sometimes you just need that nudge or sometimes you just need that validation that this is not a ridiculous idea. But it's hard when you're not surrounded by other business owners.
Right.
Like, it's hard to have that confidence and feel like this isn't a stupid idea.
Yeah. And I think also, too, in the back of my mind, I've always known that I've wanted to not necessarily like own a business, but I knew that I didn't want to work in a clinic setting, like under somebody, like for a corporate business. I knew I didn't want to work in a hospital because of the hours. And so I always felt like I also had like just concerns with like management and stuff like that, where I didn't have a
Yeah.
say because who am I to a business? I'm just a number, right? Whereas with owning your own business, I get to make the shots. I get to do everything and still be who I am at home, still be a mom, which is my number one thing.
Yep.
But yeah,
Yep.
I think there was always a part of me that didn't flat out say like you're going to own your own business someday, but a part of me
Mhm.
was like something else is coming your way and I just needed to listen to it.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's funny hearing you say that reminded me. I just had an acquaintance recently reach out to me that there is a job opening at our local hospital for a mental health therapist. And she's like, didn't know if this is something you'd be interested in. And I politely was like, thanks for thinking of me. Just don't think I could ever go back to,
Yeah.
not being my own boss, but thank you. And there's
Yeah.
so much more to it than just that. Like, I can make so much more on my own. I'm in
Right.
control of my schedule. Like,
There's so many
there's so
more
many
perks
reasons.
that people
Yeah.
don't realize.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Right.
also like the
Right.
downfalls of everything too, but the
Yeah.
perks I feel like outweigh the
Yeah. Right. So talk about like big picture wise, like where do you foresee Rooted going in the next 5 to 10 years? Like if you like dreaming big, what's your ultimate goal for Rooted?
I would love to have my own, like be in my own building, but have it large enough that I can have all the therapies that we need for pediatrics under one roof. So that be like speech therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy, have alternative therapies in there as well, like a what are those called? Halotherapy machines or
Yeah. Halo.
rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also do like red light therapy, just having it all spaced out too. Like the physical therapist, they have the room that they need. Having a maybe adding a couple more practitioners on way down the road and maybe even growing it to family someday too. I don't know
Mhm.
yet, but focusing on peds right now, that's my number one goal. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
still
love
staying
that.
rural so that people aren't having to travel 1 hour
Yep,
plus, but yeah,
yep.
that's my big dream, and then have it all decorated with, like, rooted theme and the
Yeah,
fun
I
side of
love
it.
that. Right, I totally agree, and I feel like that's a big need in our area because, like you said, like, the nearest you'd have to drive for, like, a peds clinic is Iowa City the closest? Like, I don't know if there's a full ped or is there one in Cedar Rapids?
There's some in Cedar Rapids,
Okay,
and then
okay.
there's some in Waterloo and Dubuque, but again, they're all part of corporate America where
Yeah, yeah,
I
yep.
feel like you have to do things the way that you're told, you can't branch off, and that's not the life I wanna live.
What I think is special about Rooted and just Brooke in general that I want listeners to know about is one, we don't have another pediatrician in our county. Brooke is the sole pediatrician in our county, which is huge. And two, she's not like your typical, she's not. I wouldn't even, you can't even compare her to a Western medicine provider because she doesn't fit that mold. And that's great because we really shouldn't try to fit that mold. Yeah, like own that, own that. You really shouldn't try to fit that mold. But Brooke, you go into a clinic for a Western medicine provider, you're going to get that 15-minute, maybe if you're lucky, appointment with that provider. And that's it, right? Like you're not really getting quality time with them. And since we had Augie, every appointment we've had with Brooke has been a full hour. She's asking thorough questions. She never once makes you feel like, I got to get out the door. I got somebody else coming in. Like it's never felt rushed. It's not just that we're friends outside of it, but like I feel like she's taking it all seriously. She's making sure all the I's are dotted, T's are crossed. Is there anything I missed? Is there anything you guys have questions about? I mean, it's so thorough. And I just don't feel, when I think back to appointments I've had in the Western medicine world with providers, like, back in the day, like over 4 years ago at least, it's always felt rushed. And it's not their fault, right? Like that's how our clinics are set up. And I get it. But it's just not, it's like we're in a reactive setting, and that's just not the energy Brooke brings to her appointments even. So she really does not fit the mold of a Western medicine provider at all. She very much is that mix of like holistic, and she sprinkles in the Western med side of things. So really that functional pediatrician is a perfect title for her, I feel.
Thank
She
you.
brings it all
That was
together.
so nice.
Yeah, well, I just want people to know like what they're getting and who they're getting into bed with
Yeah.
when they make an appointment with you. That's what I want people to know. For real though. So it's a big need in our area, and Brooke really like she's only in the beginning stages, but she's really bringing that to our area in a huge way. So talk about your journey getting here, the highs and the lows. I mean, I know it's been a roller coaster for you, but in the beginning, when we did my pro bono coaching with you, how do you feel that helped with like
I
starting the business with
Yeah,
your
my
mindset, all of that?
mindset has completely shifted. At the beginning, like I told you, there was all those what ifs, like what if I fail? What if I do this? And then my husband, he's one of my best supporters, but he's also like, we need to think of a plan B if this doesn't work out, which is totally fair. Like nothing to take that away from him or anything like that. Yeah, what if it didn't? But it is. But having that in the back of my mind too, just and I people kept telling me, your growth is going to be slow. That's fine. Take that time. Really fine tune everything that you need to be fine tuning, which I'm still in that process too.
Yeah.
And I feel like I will be for, I mean, maybe ever. You know what I mean? Just always fine tuning. Things are always changing. Research is coming out. So, I mean, I'll always be fine tuning. But like really sitting down with you and going through different mechanisms, I'll call them, or different
Yeah.
modalities to really help
Yeah.
improve your mindset literally has changed everything. Like daily affirmations, meditation, and just like some, I'll say alternative therapies too. Like, I think another big thing that I did alongside of you is I saw Marge in the office, who is a
Yes.
medium, angel reader.
Yep.
which I know a lot of people have mixed feelings about that. But from what I took from my session with her, it was just, I felt validated. I felt I am doing what I need to be doing. I'm on the right path. Um, yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm
That was
where I'm
so
supposed to
helpful.
be, and it's just gonna grow into this beautiful business that is just gonna flourish and keep growing. And after leaving, I literally cried because I was so happy with what I heard. And yeah, and I have taken everything from her and from you, and I've ran with it and just
You
continue to
have.
grow and flourish.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up because the collab that I did, I had a podcast collab, yes, no, 2 days ago with Jessica Rachel. So similar to what Marge does, Jessica Rachel is a psychic medium, and her episode will air 2 weeks before yours. So it'll be mid-July. Yours will be like the end of July, early August when it finally goes live. There's just something to be said about doing one of those sessions, especially when you are in the beginning stages of starting a business. I mean, there's so many reasons why. One, like we're not surrounded by a lot of business owners, and so that validation just goes a really long ways. But then two, if you're wanting to truly build a soul aligned business, so you're not just spinning your wheels and going after something that is a waste of time in the end, you're going to find out in that session. So I know some people, I agree. Some people maybe don't buy into that, but that session for me was monumental to after I woke up every day because I know I'm going after that something that's like truly aligned and meant for me. I was excited after that. Like I'm building something beautiful and it's meant for me and my soul. And, like
Yeah.
there's just something about that.
Yeah. And I also have done a theta therapy with her too, which I've never heard of that until I spoke to you. And I felt like that was very powerful too. Again, a lot of people don't really feel like that fits who they are. And I went
Right.
in with an open mind, and it just really, the theta therapy is just honing in on your subconscious and uh, limiting beliefs and stuff like that. And
I don't know if I told you I'm getting trained in that in August.
I cannot wait.
I'm like, you'll have it at your
I
fingertips.
know. I'm so excited.
I am too. I am seriously so pumped. So there's a training locally here in August. I'm just so excited for
Oh,
that.
that's so
Yeah.
exciting.
There's something to be said about the subconscious reprogramming. Like it's an untapped market in our rural parts of the country.
Right.
Yeah. It's not woo woo either, but because people don't talk about it, it seems like a woo woo thing when
Correct,
you
yeah.
bring it
I
up.
mean, it's all in your own head, you see everything and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, so besides the professional development, like working with me, you really dove into like your own healing journey. You dove into working on yourself spiritually, mentally, emotionally. How did you find that benefiting you as a mom going through that?
Yeah, that's a great question. I really took everything to heart because, I mean, you can't help others unless you help yourself first, right? So, you can't pour from an empty cup, and I felt like there were tendencies where I was doing that, and I would have a short fuse and just, like, let the little things irritate me more than what they typically would. And so when I really started focusing on myself and really, like, taking the time to work on me, I feel like things have been a lot better. And I can tell too, like, since working with you and doing other things, I can tell when I get away from doing, like, daily affirmations or meditation or anything of that nature. I can just tell in my mood,
Yeah,
my subconscious, like, what I'm telling myself, or, like, what I'm telling myself in my head. So then I always, like, do, like, a self-check and be like, "Okay, I need to start doing this back up again," whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, not the full 30 minutes, whatever. But, yeah, really try to zero in on it, so then I'm mom when the kids are home. And that's another big thing too that I didn't mention earlier, was that with starting Rooted, I knew a big thing that I wanted to do was make sure that when I'm home, I'm mom and I'm not Brooke, you
yeah,
know, at
yeah.
Rooted. So I really, really do everything I can to get all my work done at work. And then when I'm at home, I can just be mom.
Right. Yeah, that's
I
so
mean,
important.
sometimes that doesn't always happen,
Right.
so if something does need to be done for work, I'll wait until the kids go to bed. But
Yeah.
I try
Yeah,
not
I
to make
think
a habit of that either.
right. It's good that you bring that up. I mean, I think that's the goal as an entrepreneur, but the reality is like there's always things we could be doing at home. So finding that balance can be really hard, I feel. But that's the goal. Yeah, to be present. Absolutely. So I don't know, I don't think we explained this, but Brooke and I are in the same office building. So we rent from a chiropractor, and it's not like labeled as a wellness facility, but it pretty much is a wellness facility. So we have a chiropractor in there, Brooke, who's the pediatrician, me, the mental health therapist. We did have Marge, who was a psychic medium and a massage therapist, among other like alternative healing modalities as well. Like she offered reflexology, things like that. And then we have a Reiki practitioner in there as well. So really like whole body health,
Yeah,
I would say.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
It
always nice
is
that
kind of
we all bounce ideas off of each other too.
yeah, yeah. And there's something to be said about I know I mentioned Brooke and I were in an actual wellness facility prior to that. And then we branched out on our own just because it was what we needed to do. But there's something to be said about being in a space where I don't like, we're just lucky. This space is filled with women who are encouraging each other, building each other up. There's no competition, send referrals to each other left and right. I mean, obviously there's HIPAA, we're protecting, the confidentiality of our clients as well, but it's such a beautiful thing when we all are just truly trying to run soul aligned businesses, trying to make our dreams a reality. And we've got each other's backs, and it's nice. It's a safe space. We can all talk about life, the personal side of running a business. I mean, it's such a great feeling that we're in a space that the support is truly there.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great.
And kind of to piggyback off of that too, like you just get the raw information too with whatever you have questions on with these ladies. And then, like, yeah, they're there to pick you up, but then they're also there to tell you, like, hey,
Mhm.
get it together, like
Yeah.
jokingly.
Yes.
But
Yes.
yeah, so
Totally
I
agree.
feel like we can all be ourselves and we can have fun, but yet be professional at the same time. And I don't, it's
Yeah.
just a great environment where we're at right now.
Yeah, it really is. I totally agree. Um, oh, there's something I wanted to ask you that you were talking about earlier. For those people who maybe are not as familiar with functional medicine, can you talk about I mean, we've kind of talked bits and pieces about it, but can you just talk about what sets functional medicine apart from just traditional pediatrics for people that maybe aren't as well informed as you and I are?
Right. Yeah. So I feel like more of Western medicine or your traditional medicine, you go in, you see a provider, they give you a medication, they slap a band-aid on whatever's going on. Right. So that is where functional medicine really stands apart. So it looks at, oh, let's figure out why. Why is your kid, I'm just going to use kiddos for example, because that's what I do. But why is your kiddo having eczema? Why is your kiddo having behavioral problems or depression symptoms or anything like that? So rather than just throwing them on an antidepressant or a topical steroid or anything like that, we really hone in. We do some additional testing, whether that's gut testing, blood work, whatever it may be. And then we try to figure out, okay, well, is it an allergy? Is there a gut disruptor that's in your gut? Is it a parasite? Are you deficient in zinc or are you deficient in vitamin D? Or is your copper zinc ratio not where the optimal level should be? Something else that differentiates functional medicine to traditional medicine is that traditional medicine, when you look at labs, they give you this super big range of lab values that is considered normal. Whereas functional medicine will then hone it in even closer to give you an optimal level. So that's where people thrive.
Hmm.
So that's another big difference as well.
I didn't know that.
I feel
That's
like
interesting.
what's that?
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah. So I tell that to families all the time. Like if we go over lab work, that I'll tell them like, yeah, you if you look at your labs, her vitamin D might be within that normal range, but she's actually lower than what I would like to see her at. So let's improve that just a little bit. We'll recheck it in a few months, see where she's at, see if there's any improvements, and we'll go. But yeah, that's the big key takeaways. I feel like functional medicine really looks at the person as a whole and not, like I said earlier, just slapping band-aids on problems, getting on to the next patient, slapping another band-aid on it, or just saying, they'll grow out of it, or that's normal type of thing.
Yeah, some of the cliches we hear all the time in like Western medicine clinics. Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that. I so you take a whole body approach, you spend more time with clients, you're really trying to get to the root cause. I mean, there's so many differences. What are some of the like root cause problems that you spend, a majority or most of your time with clients or
Yeah, I feel
patients?
like I have a pretty good or a pretty wide range of why people come, but the most common ones are going to be skin concerns, mood, or behavioral concerns.
Hmm.
Constipation is another common one. Um, and then what's the other? I think that's all of them, actually.
And I
Like the most
know,
common ones.
right, right. And I know you like recently, well, this year, I mean, I don't know how recent it really was, but you recently went through a training for like gut health. Do you find that a lot of these issues are tied to children's gut health?
Yeah, so the trainings that I have done, they haven't been like specific for gut health, but just like functional overall.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I feel like they've been beneficial. I'm part of this one community that is just phenomenal. But I can tell because the community that I'm a part of that has all these additional trainings and where they have the additional trainings and these master classes is what I'll call it. They have a couple every month where you hone in on a specific topic, whether that's anxiety or eczema. There's one on pandas. So just like different specific topics that are PED specific, which are super, super nice because when I was looking at different functional schools or trainings, you're paying thousands and thousands of dollars for stuff that you might not even use because it's adult based.
Right.
And I feel like that's another thing that sets pediatric providers apart is that you hone in on a special population, whereas family providers, they focus on everybody. And so when they go through their trainings for peds, it might be one class. It might
Hmm.
be a 2-hour training, something very minimal to compare to a pediatric specific provider who has spent 2+ years, depending on what program you do, just for that specific population. But yeah, that's what I really like about this one because this community is the only one that I know of that is peds specific.
So valuable.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like worth the investment, obviously.
100%.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's a year-long investment?
It is, yep,
That's
but,
awesome.
you can renew it every single year, and so what I also like about this community is that you can pitch ideas or ask any sort of questions, and all of these integrated practitioners from all over the United States, and there's some in Canada, I think there's one from Puerto Rico, they can answer your questions or give you like, "Hey, you should look into this," or
Yeah.
"I would test for this, this, and this," or just, like, anything that you can possibly think of.
Amazing. That's
It's
so
amazing. I am so
great.
happy I found it.
Yeah, what great support, especially if you're wanting to like eventually expand further. That's such great support to have. And the network now that you're adding like more integrative practitioners to your network that are all
Yeah,
over the world. That's so cool.
yeah,
Love that. Worth every penny.
100%.
Yeah, good for you. I was going to ask you something about gut health. Do you want to talk a little bit more about? I know you see a lot of connections between like behavioral problems and gut health issues, or I don't know. There's probably more than just that. That's the primary one that's coming to my head. But do you want to talk about some of the connections you see tied to children's gut health with the
Yeah.
variety of symptoms that maybe you deal with?
So you can just have an abundant, like if you, after you do a gut test, the only downfall with gut testing though is that it can take 6 to 8 weeks before you get results. So
Yeah.
that's something that I don't like about it. But once you get those results, you have a plethora of information. And
Mhm.
so, I mean, it could be a parasite. And so you just need to cleanse the parasite out and everything, like the symptoms are gone. It could be as simple as, I shouldn't say as simple as, but it could be there's mold in your system.
Mhm.
Let's take care of that mold.
Mhm.
Just like it will pick up any gut disruptors, or let's say there's not a very good balance with like diversity or anything like
Mhm.
that, or there's a specific bacteria that's in your gut that's just too much, and we need to bring that back down. Because some of that bacteria that is in your gut, it's good to have, but if you have too much or too little, that can play an effect on basically anything, whether you're having the mood or behavior problems or the eczema or just like constipation or bloating or anything like that. I mean, it looks at methane production, it looks at protein breakdown, it looks at your shorty chain fatty acids. It's just, yeah, it's amazing on what they can all do.
And then to run a gut health test, is that typically blood work? Like you have to draw blood for that, or is it like a stool sample?
It's a
Or
stool sample. So I
okay,
order through
okay,
Tiny Health. I really like Tiny Health because it is, depending on your age, it can look at your gut maturation. So seeing how old your gut is and if it's where it should be, whether it's too diverse or not diverse enough. Yeah. Um, it gives you an overall score on your guts, and it,
that's cool.
yeah, and it highlights everything that you should be working on. Now you have to go in and you have to kind of look at the kiddo specifically and kind of see what your numbers are like. So, I mean, it might be kind of like the blood work. It might be at a good level, but they're having this symptom. So I want to look at that bacteria, or I want to look at that bifidobacterium and see, is it too high? Is it too low? And kind of play with that.
Nice, nice.
It's
Okay,
not a fix overnight
sure,
type of thing. I
sure.
mean, with functional
Yep,
medicine, you could be dealing with or trying to get back to your healthy, happy self for a few months. I
yeah,
mean, it could be anywhere between a few weeks to it might take a couple years before we figure
yep.
out like a good balance of where we need to be.
Right, especially depending on, like, what kind of a lifestyle that child was living prior to working with you or seeing you. I mean, when I started meeting with an integrated practitioner, it's been 4 years ago now, that's exactly what she told me. It was like, "Don't expect an overnight fix. It's could potentially take months to years." And I just got told after we got Augie, like, 2 weeks after Augie came home, was when my integrated practitioner told me that all of my hormone levels are within truly optimal ranges and that my nutrient deficiencies are now in optimal ranges. And so that took 4 years,
Yeah, yeah,
but
but now
in
that you
that
know, you're thriving. I'm assuming
yeah,
you feel great. You know what I mean?
yeah, my energy's great. I
Yeah,
got rid of dairy and gluten. I feel great. In that time, I got rid of as much plastics as I could in our house, in our kitchen. I got rid of like toxic like home products, whether it be cleaning products or my beauty products. I mean, I made a lot of changes,
yeah,
not just in my diet, but totally worth it because I feel so much better. And that's ultimately what you're trying to do with children too, is you might make some suggestions for their lifestyle or their environmental changes that, you might suggest they make on top of like, try eating this, get rid of this. I mean, you're looking truly at that whole picture, which I just think is so great for kids because I didn't get taught that growing up, so I just think that's huge for kids to hear that.
yeah. And to kind of piggyback off of that as well, it's not like if we do have to make diet changes, it's not taking it away forever. You know what
No,
I mean?
no.
It's
Yep.
let's I don't want to say take it away. Rather than doing like a
Mhm,
diet restriction, I say let's do a like a reintroduction or a replacement diet. So let's look at some foods. Let's say we want to take away dairy. Okay, let's look at some foods that have more calcium in it rather than the dairy and make those swaps before we
mhm.
completely eliminate the dairy. And then later down the road, we'll slowly reintroduce that dairy, see how we do. And that'll tell us, hey, we can have dairy again, or maybe we should wait a little bit longer.
Interesting, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Because I remember back in the day, my practitioner had said, it's like the 80-20 rule, like, I'm not saying you have to get rid of it completely, but 80% of the time, try to avoid it. 20% of the time, it's okay if it's in your diet. it just made it feel more like realistic at that time. But I mean, now I don't do it at all, but it's still good to know if I can't avoid it, like I'm gonna be okay. And I think kids need to know that. Like yeah, it's not forever necessarily unless you decide to forever, but
Right.
it doesn't have to be. Yeah, I love that. And you've been in this entrepreneurial journey for a year now. You just celebrated your anniversary. What advice would you give to somebody who's like maybe just has an idea of starting a business, but is afraid to make that leap, or is just now starting a business, but feeling lost and confused? Like, what advice would you give to the you from a year ago?
Yeah. So the first thing I would do is to not necessarily share your ideas with everybody in the world, you know.
Hmm.
But I actually, like when I was going through my business plan that I was taking to the bank and everything, I actually used Chat GPT.
Yeah,
Which
absolutely.
just
Yeah.
sounds so silly.
No, it does not.
Like when it gave me like just something simple like color ideas, not necessarily
Hmm.
that I have to use them, you know,
Yep. Yep.
but it gives you different ideas or like different avenues that when I was thinking like, okay, if what extra do I want to do? Do I want to do educational classes? Do I want to do like different activities? Like what's going to set me apart from the next person?
Yes.
And so it gave me so many great ideas and I was like,
Yeah.
this is amazing. Like it's
Yeah.
very
I mean, something that somebody around here might not have even thought of.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And so I mean, I took that and I ran with it. And then I also think a big thing to do, I don't know how it exactly goes, but you are most like the people that you surround yourself with, like the
The
five
five
closest
people.
people. Yeah. And just be very selective at who you choose.
Yeah. Preach.
Like, I'm glad I chose you. I'm glad I
Same.
chose Leah.
Yeah.
Um,
Us.
you want people who, if it's a financial standpoint, like surround yourself with people who know how to make the money work for them and not look at their bank account and be like, where's my money going? Type of thing. Like, I have recently learned that, like I just said, like your money works for you. Your money has a job. So I think that's a big thing because where I was at a year from now to where I am today, those five people have definitely changed, obviously for the best. Not saying that I completely dismiss the other people who
No.
may or may not have been in that five
Yep.
core people,
Yep.
but I just feel like my mindset overall has been healthier and happier. And I just feel like I'm just continually going up. I mean, there might be some bumps in the road, but
Yeah.
the grass
Yeah.
is greener on the other side.
Yeah. That's so well said and such great advice. And I couldn't agree more. Lived by that motto in the beginning as well. And I think every entrepreneur, new or otherwise, should, because I just yesterday, I can't remember who it was, but I told somebody just yesterday about that quote. And I said, my inner five people, if they don't have this dream that lights a fire under their ass, if they're not like going after these big life goals, then I don't want them in my circle, because like
Bye bye.
that's where I'm at. Like I have these big goals. I don't want anyone that thinks, one, I don't want anyone that's going to poo poo on it. And two, I don't want anyone that thinks it's out of reach. Because
Right.
if you think that, then we're not at the same wavelength at all.
Yeah. And that's
Yeah,
the other thing too is that you want to, like, I feel like we're in the same, but also different levels of where we're at. And so
absolutely.
it's nice to like converse with you and share ideas. And you're my cheerleader that says, yeah, go for it,
Yeah. Yeah.
But then at the same time, like, I also feel like you might be a step or 2 or 5 or 10 steps ahead of me at the same time where you're just
Jeez.
like, I'm like, I wanna be her. I want her mentality.
Sure.
And
Sure.
so I feel like, yeah, you need those core 5 people and you need to be very selective of who you have,
Yeah.
but you also want people who might be a couple steps ahead of you, so you can always
Yes.
ask those questions where they can teach you, like, "These are my mistakes. This is how I wanna
Yes.
fix them, blah, blah, blah,
Yep.
blah, blah."
Agreed. Like you need those five people who are like minded and similar to you. And then on top of that, you need expanders who are those 10 plus steps above you, because that's where you want to eventually be. And then let's be honest, we have a ton of dreamers in our circle and in our 5 people. And then we both go home to our husbands they call themselves like realists, who'd like then just like bring us back down to earth. They're not negative. I didn't
No, they're
say
just
that
realists,
word.
and
They're
sometimes
just
they have to
realists.
go on the ideas, but
Yeah, I didn't say they were negative. I did not say that. I'm not labeling them. They just like to bring us back. They like to ground us in some ways, and we try to bring them up here, and then they just sometimes want to bring us back down. It's okay. It's okay. I'm sure there's listeners that are like, yep, I feel
yep,
that. So it's fine. I just had to put that out there. But that's such great advice, though, and I agree, that's something every new entrepreneur needs to hear. Like, you need to be intentional about who is in your circle and who is not. And we both went through, I mean, I feel I'm still seeing changes in my circle as we speak
yeah,
today.
for sure.
And that's okay. Like you said, I'm not burning bridges. I'm just needing to be intentional about who those people are that I'm pouring into, and that's okay. Yeah. And we both do belong to a local female entrepreneur group. And I think that's helped in big ways too. I mean, this group is filled with women who own anywhere from like Brooke's level, brand new, still in the beginning stages of a business, to we have 7 and 8 figure business owners in this group. So, I mean, you want to talk about being in a room with like minded people. This group is just so freaking attractive in that way, because I just love being around the energy of people who are truly like running a successful, thriving business. And then I love being around the energy of people who are in the stage that I'm at. It's within, or that we are both at within the first like 1 to 5 years of owning a business.
Yeah,
There's
and
just a
yeah,
lot of power.
I also love going to those meetings too. It's been a while since I've been to one just because
Same.
of life,
Yeah,
but,
same.
I love going to them, especially the ones where we can share our highs and our lows, and then these are my ideas, but how can I get to those ideas? And everyone just
Mhm.
pitches in. And I love
Yeah.
that because like you said earlier, some of those people like you have these ideas and then they have additional ideas and you're like, never would have thought of that. And they were great because I remember that one time the gal sitting next to me, I mean, she pretty much took the whole meeting, but she needed it.
Hmm.
I feel like more
Yep.
than a lot of us did. But
Hmm.
she probably left and her head was just about to explode with all these different ideas that she could have ran with.
Yeah.
Um, those are my
Totally agree.
favorite ones to go to.
I agree. Yeah.
Everyone
It's so
just picks
nice
you
to,
up, and then I mean, if you're having a
yeah.
hard time, they're still there picking you up, saying like, "Let's try this instead," or "Have you thought about this?" Or just I don't know. It's a great community.
It totally is. I agree. So there's a lot of lessons here. Like, be intentional about your circle. I'm assuming you would say like invest in the business. I know that was a really hard decision for you. I'm so glad that I got to at least like open your eyes to coaching, because then after that, it was when you immediately were like actually looking into investing in a coaching program. And that's such a hard decision. I mean, I remember going into year 2 being like, can I spend this? Is it really like, is there going to be an ROI for this? Is it really worth it? It's a hard decision in the beginning when you're not making that 6 figure income yet. That's a really hard decision, but I'm assuming, like, looking back, do you feel like it's been completely worth it?
Yeah, I feel like I'm in that community, if not every day, at least every week. I'm either
Yeah.
because within that community too, there's part where it's like an AI
Yeah.
type of thing where it
Yep.
compiles all the information, all the master classes, all the presentations, everything. So let's say I had a question on just like even like a favorite supplement for
Yeah.
whatever, it'll take I mean, they're all integrated practitioners, so they're going to be looking for the cleaner options, you know?
Right.
And
Right.
so, I mean, I had somebody asking me about vitamin A. Well, I've never actually recommended vitamin A to anybody yet. I mean, now
Hmm.
I have. But at that point in time, I was like, I don't even know where to start, you know? So I
Right.
go to my community and I'm like, okay, what are some reputable brands? What ones are clean? What about some that are dairy free, gluten free? Like just different things. And
Yeah.
you get some longer list than others, but I mean, you
I'm
get some
sure.
options and then you just go from there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so good to know. I didn't know you had a resource like that. So I'm going to store that away, because that's great. I love that I have Brooke in my like back corner. Like, it's so hard because we're friends. and colleagues, and she's my son's pediatrician. And so honestly, after our first appointment with Brooke, I don't know if it was the night after or a couple nights later, or anyways, like something happened with Augie. And my mind immediately went to that Friends episode where Rachel like wants to call Dr. Wiener and like Ross is like, you don't need to constantly call him. And so she's like in the closet, like trying to call the pediatrician. So anyways, I thought about that and I'm like, okay, I can't take advantage of her as my friend because she's also like, I need to practice boundaries because she's also my son's pediatrician. But I
You're
just
fine.
literally was like, I really want to know that. Yeah, it's so hard, but I do love having her in my back corner because this world is still new to me. I dove into the integrative world, like, I don't know, 6 years ago when we were in year 2 of our fertility journey. And so, yeah, there's still things that I'm learning too through my own practitioner and Brooke, and it's fascinating. There's just a wealth of information in that world, let's be honest.
Yeah. I'm going to piggyback off of that again and be like, I enjoy having you in my corner too, because then I have like not only a friend, not only a biz bestie, but I also have a therapist with me.
You do. You totally do. Yeah. Yeah. We both benefit so much from each other. It's like good give and take. It
Yeah.
really is.
Well, and I
Yeah.
also
I
feel
totally
like
love it.
just like the energy and the vibe is always so different when we're together. Like, I mean, Marge has even said that too. She's like, I can tell
Yeah.
when you guys are here just because the energy is it's just so different, so positive.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that. I love that we bring that to the office.
I
That's so
know.
great. Just like,
We need Marge
wanna,
back.
I know I really miss that woman. I totally agree. Yeah. It's so nice having that spiritual like presence in the office that I don't know how to explain it, but every time for me, if I was in a therapy session, every time Marge would walk in the building, my one of my ears would start ringing and I'd be like, fucking Marge, she's here. Sorry. She's here. My ears are telling me, her spirit's telling me. And it's so crazy. I do. Yeah. She just recently left the office and she's like backing off a little bit on working. And so she will be missed for sure.
For sure.
Yeah. All right. So before we wrap things up, is there what's down the road for your practice? I know you shared like big picture vision where you hope to go, but is there anything that's already in the works? Any new services, events, or dreams you're calling in? Like anything that's coming down the pipe in the next 6 months?
I don't know necessarily 6 months, just to be honest. I feel like I'm at the spot right now where, again, fine tuning everything,
Yeah.
but just, how do I want to say it? Fine tuning my practice, especially the functional side of things, since I am newer to that world and I'm still learning. I mean, I'm always going to be learning.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Lifelong.
But I feel like just within the next 6 months for sure, like still just working on that. Maybe looking into hiring a nurse just to have some extra help.
Yeah.
Maybe. That's a maybe. I know who I would hire too.
So,
Yeah. But like I said, that's a maybe right now, just because I know there's going to be some other things that are coming up in the future.
okay. I'm going to help you manifest it, but well, that's
Yeah.
another
No, that's fine.
conversation for another
But I
time.
also like it's the back office stuff that really drives me crazy. And so
hmm
I need to delegate stuff like that. And so I really
Yeah.
need to
Get a
take
VA.
advantage of Laura. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The
So
secretary. Okay.
yeah. So
Yep.
Laura is the front desk lady at our office. And
Yeah.
so she's always said that she'd be more than willing to help. So I
Yeah.
should take advantage of her with that kind of stuff, like the scanning
Absolutely.
and the stuff that's just not fun.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Yep.
fill my cup
Totally.
up.
Right. Right.
But then
Well,
that will
and it,
just allow me to open up more time for patients
yeah.
too.
Yeah. I mean, somebody once said, like, you need to delegate those $1 and $5 tasks so that you can focus on the $20 and $100 tasks. And that's so true. That's why I hired a VA because it's like she can focus on those tasks and then I can actually focus on what's bringing in like 80% of my income.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I'm
Absolutely.
finally financially, I'm getting to that spot where I can start doing that. So
Yep. Love that. Love that for
yeah,
you.
that's
Good.
exciting.
And then for listeners who, if they're local to Iowa, if they're wanting to bring their children to you, you are still accepting patients,
Yep.
correct?
Yep. And
Awesome.
I
Okay.
know a lot of people, I should just, sorry to butt in. But
No, go.
a lot of people think that functional medicine is very woo-woo and it's all out-of-pocket pay, and I just want to say it's really not. I feel like functional medicine to me, and I mean, I know you feel the same way too, but I feel like functional medicine should be our basic healthcare. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it totally should be.
Yeah. So, I mean, I still do prescribe antibiotics when they're needed,
Mhm.
but
Yep.
before they are truly needed, we try to do some different things first, just because I'll give an example. Like a lot of ear infections are viral. Well, you walk into your typical pediatric clinic, they see an ear infection at a well child visit, the kid's acting fine, and they're throwing an antibiotic at it. Well, no.
Yeah, that's
You know what
not
I mean? Don't do that.
correct. Yep.
So, I mean, you won't find that with me. And then I always give parents the options. Like I give them, we could do this, we could do this, we could do both. Like, what are some options? Where are you at? Like, I want to make sure parents feel heard. I make sure all questions are answered before everybody leaves, which I mean, that should just be basic
Yeah.
healthcare
Yep.
bedside manner, I'll say.
Totally agree. Yeah.
But yeah, and then a lot of people think that functional medicine is all out of pocket pay. That's not necessarily true. Depending on what you're looking for, it might be out of pocket pay, but I do, in fact, take insurance as well, including state insurance.
Right. Like she tries to send what she can to insurance when she can. Things that, you might have to pay out of pocket might be certain lab work or, yeah, certain tests that you decide to run
Yeah.
might have to be out of pocket, but
And I feel like the stuff that's
it's
out of
worth it.
pocket is more in depth. Like
Yes.
you come to me with your child having behavioral concerns and you want to take a deeper
Yes.
look, that would be more out of pocket. Now, like your
Yep.
well child and your sick visits, like ear pain, sore throats, that's all covered under insurance based on your insurance plan. I shouldn't say it's all covered, but
Sure. Sure. Absolutely.
yeah.
And for those things people are paying out of pocket, do you have payment plans? Do you expect people to pay in full then and there, or how do you typically handle that?
No, I totally get it. I mean, finances are hard, especially in the time that we're at right now. So I do offer payment plans. And I mean, I don't want you to feel like your healthcare should be hindered because you feel like you can't pay for it. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So I feel,
absolutely.
especially with kiddos, like if they're not feeling well or something's going on and we want to try to get to the bottom of it, we can come up with a plan together,
Yep.
and so it's not a financial burden for your guys' family where you feel like you can't put food on the table. You know what I mean? Like I
Sure.
do not want that at all.
Yep,
So
absolutely. Yeah. So you guys heard it. Brooke is accepting new clients. So if you are in the Eastern Iowa area and you would like your children to be seen by a functional pediatrician, or just a pediatrician in general, she is taking on clients. So definitely reach out to her at Rooted Pediatrics. I'll put all of her contact information in the show notes. I'll put her Instagram, her website, all the things. Highly recommend her, you guys. And I know I'm slightly biased, but I'm also just saying this as a mom because there's just there is a need for these types of providers. The next nearest one that I actually have a relationship with is a county away. So it's just so nice that we have one right here in Delaware County, here in Iowa. So reach out to her. You will not be disappointed. I'm not the only one that just raves about her. There are so many local moms in our area that just flock to her. Okay. So do me a favor, fill up her caseload because I promise you, you will not be disappointed. And Brooke, is there any last message you would like to share with listeners before we end with rapid fire questions?
trust your instincts. Your mom gut is a true
Yes.
thing. So you know your child
Yes.
best. So run with it. And if you have any concerns, follow those concerns because 10 out of 10 times there's something going on.
Yeah, totally agree. That has been my North Star since bringing Augie home is my gut, my instinct, my intuition. There are just things that you just intuitively know as a mom. I've heard women say that for years prior to being a mom, and it's like, it's so true though.
Yeah.
Trust it. Yeah, that's great advice. All right, let's end with some rapid fire questions. Brooke, what is a small habit or ritual that makes you feel like your next level self?
I'm trying to get back into working out. Does that count? So just like my that's my me time.
Yeah,
And so
absolutely.
I mean, sometimes my kids are with me.
Yep,
But
you do what you
like
gotta do, though.
but if I'm by myself, people usually crank music, whatever.
Yeah,
I have
yep.
silence, or I have
Love
a
that.
podcast going on in the background, typically whatever one, like, you send me.
Yeah. That's so funny. Yeah, I have a problem.
But, yeah, I feel like that's my time that and also in the shower. I do so much reflection in the shower, and I feel like that's when all these ideas come to me, and there's sometimes where I go to my husband, I'm like, "What about this idea?" And then
Yeah,
again, he brings me back to earth.
I know. I think on maternity leave, I had like 3 ideas for 3 other businesses I could potentially start, and Mitch is like, "Yeah, okay." Like, "Okay, well, I have a problem." If you could manifest one dream instantly, what would it be?
One dream. This is totally off topic, but I would love to go on a safari. Yeah,
If
during
you
the Great Migration. Isn't that what it's called?
nobody has ever talked about that. That's so fascinating. So I don't know if you follow Catherine Zankina. She's goes by the Manifestation Babe. She is the host of the Manifestation Babe podcast. She took her kid and husband on and her, I think her mom or her mother-in-law, she took them on an African safari like 1 or 2 years ago now, because it's just always been a dream of hers. And I was like, oh my gosh,
And I
that's
wanna
so
stay in a
cool.
hotel where, like, the giraffes come in and, like, eat off your plate.
Yeah. 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 Oh, that's cool. Nobody has ever said that. What's one piece of advice that you'd give to your younger self?
Trust your gut. I mean, if I was talking to her right now, like, just stand your ground, believe in yourself. Who cares what other people think? You don't need to be a people pleaser, and just really close in on those core people. They're probably gonna change throughout life, but they're your people.
Yeah, I love that. That's so good. What's a dream destination on your vision board right now?
Does the safari count?
What'd you say?
I said, "Does the safari count?"
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I
Or
figured.
or so that'd be, like, on my personal vision board. My
Yeah.
professional vision board would be, um, financial freedom. I mean, as with
Yeah.
any entrepreneur, I feel like, so
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. And last one, what's one thing you're currently working on manifesting in your life?
gaining more clients.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So these last few
absolutely.
months have taken off, which has been such a great feeling. So
Good.
I want to keep upticking. So
Yeah, that makes me so happy for you. And then like just a month from now, you're gonna be having like back to school visits starting, which is crazy to think, but yeah, so it's gonna probably fill up fast for you. One thing I thought about, and I did not plan to bring this up, but it came up when you were answering those questions. Fun fact about Brooke, she
shut
was,
up.
no, I have to bring it up because I'm just so impressed with it. Like, she was, I'm gonna butcher this, you competed for Miss Iowa, right?
Yep. Miss Iowa
Yeah,
USA. And
Miss
I,
Iowa USA.
the best one, so I did it for 3 years and I made top five in the one of the years that I did. So yeah.
You guys, you could take your kids to a pediatrician who competed to be Miss Iowa. I think that's kind of cool. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever. I'm kind of weird like that, but I think it's cool. So, fun fact about Brooke. Yeah. All right, guys. Brooke, thank you for coming on today. I really appreciate you sharing all about your journey and about Rooted. And you guys, if there's anything that was talked about today that you want to know more about, just DM Brooke. I'll put her professional Instagram handle in the show notes. Reach out to her. She's happy to answer questions. And like I said before, if you're local to the Eastern Iowa area, reach out to her, set up an appointment for your children. You will not be disappointed. And just thank you again, Brooke, for taking the time to come on today. I really appreciate you. All right, guys, until next time, I'll talk to you all next week.